I am head of the Kamisato clan, and Yashiro Commissioner, Kamisato Ayato. Greetings, both. I have long been indebted to you on my sister's behalf. Finally, I have the chance to express my profoundest gratitude to you in person. Ayaka is out today. If you are here regarding anything related to the Kamisato clan, you are quite welcome to discuss it with me instead. You shower me with praise undeserved, my little guest. There is no need to be quite so formal. This is a private residence, so please, relax. Oh? I wouldn't have thought you'd heard about that yet. I see. Well, it's true. It wasn't long ago that I received the news myself. The head clans of 2 commissions are to become joined through marriage. This is big news for the whole of Inazuma. Since the Yashiro Commission presides over cultural and ceremonial affairs, it closely involves us, too. It is. High-profile matrimonial links between 2 commissions are extremely rare, but these 2 truly love each other. Tradition should give way to freedom in this case. No need. I'll visit them personally this time. This is a marriage between the Kujo clan and the Hiragi clan. The Kamisato clan must demonstrate an appropriate level of respect. The work of the Yashiro Commission is indeed multifarious. Normally, weddings and other ceremonies would come under the supervision of my sister. But she is presently occupied with other matters, and I happen to have a little time to spare. This will be a good chance for me to pay a visit to the bride and groom. Oh, and would you 2 care to join me? I presume you 2 have a special connection with the individuals in question, or you would not be quite so interested in this matter. This being the case, why not come and offer your best wishes too? Or is my presumption incorrect? I cannot thank you enough. Your mere presence shall surely mean we are spared the futile pursuit known as small talk. Small talk is a chore. Of course, there are some people in the world who quite enjoy doing chores, but I am not one of them. Toma, I'm heading out with my 2 guests now. I'll leave the residence in your capable hands. Who are these 2? It is a little inappropriate for me to have shared news of this magnitude with you, so I would be much obliged if you could keep it in strict confidence until an official public announcement is made. That puts my mind at ease. Now, on the topic. We'd like to pay a visit to the Kujo clan. Would you mind leading the way for us? I don't mean to impose, Sir Kujo. In fact, I'm not here on official business at all. I heard the good news about yourself and Lady Hiragi. What a glorious marital alliance this shall be. Given the close ties between our clans, it seemed only right that I should come and offer the Kamisato clan's congratulations in person. You're far too modest. The public thinks very highly of you. They say you're hard-working, upright, and responsible. It's perfectly all right. Please, continue. I'm quite content to listen. It's a joyous occasion. Light-hearted is exactly how things should be. Really, who stays stony-faced when talking about a wedding? Of course not. Where there is true love, nothing should be allowed to stand in its way. No doubt people will offer you a colorful variety of opinions. But of course, you will have factored this into your decision, and I'm sure you are prepared for whatever challenges may lie ahead. So please be confident. When your mind is made up, you ought not be worried about things for which you are already well prepared. Nevertheless, there is just one small aspect of this that puzzles me a little. You've been working hard to bring the Tenryou Commission in line. This is positive, and no doubt the beginning of important change. But on the other side of this equation, Lady Hiragi's father, Hiragi Shinsuke, is still in prison. If you choose now, of all moments, to announce a marriage between the Hiragi and Kujo clans, the kinds of rumors that may begin to spread both among the general public and in the Kanjo Commission are not likely to be in either of your best interests. I can see where you're coming from, but you're only postponing the problem, not solving it. You will still have to face it sooner or later. Oh. Okay. So you discussed it and decided on a date? Far from it. On the contrary, seeing you so positively smitten puts my mind at rest. No surer evidence could there be of your true feelings and your commitment. If I had any reservations before, I certainly don't now. I wish you a joyous wedding when the day comes. We have some other business to attend to now. Until next time. You're right. Kujo Kamaji is on cloud 9. What do you think, traveler? He chalked it up to her being coy, but that doesn't sound like the Hiragi Chisato I know. It bothers me also. But, unfortunately, attempting to seek the truth of the matter would likely be fruitless. I see. So that's how adventurers think. In my opinion, we face two obstacles in this case. Firstly, we have very little information to go on, and I must be cautious about taking a stance. This makes it difficult to investigate. Secondly, and more importantly, the person involved doesn't seem to care. If we intervene without his blessing, good intentions may lead to catastrophic results. Everything in the world is intertwined. What looks like a simple outcome is often the result of multiple conflating reasons. Seeking the full truth would be a long and laborious process. It would be inefficient. Sort of. I have to take this approach, or the work of the Yashiro Commissioner would never be done. My opinion is something like this. When something strange happens, instead of trying to find out what could have caused it, it is better to look at the situation itself. If the outcome is positive, and no one was deceived or harmed in the process, then it is acceptable. We don't know yet. After all, we don't know what Hiragi Chisato's thoughts are, do we? I have to say, I'm impressed by your ability to zero in on the issue from such a short meeting. Most insightful of you. You are thorough and thoughtful, just as my sister describes. Only if we are to take Kujo Kamaji at his word. But there are two sides to every story. I wish to know Hiragi Chisato's angle on this. Don't worry about it. I was planning to visit the Hiragi clan to deliver my best wishes anyway. Let's take the opportunity to hear her thoughts. If she's as committed as Kujo Kamaji, perhaps they can navigate the challenges ahead successfully. But if not, well, life isn't always a smooth journey. As it happens, I'm here regarding the same wedding I believe I heard you discussing just now. I come bearing the felicitations of the Kamisato clan. Would Lady Hiragi happen to be available at this moment? You misunderstand. These two are dear friends. We don't wish to impose. We'll just wander around in the general area. Apologies for the interruption while you're busy with preparations. Please, let us know once Lady Hiragi is available. That sounds splendid. We'll leave you to it. Hence why I dislike small talk. Our timing was not ideal, but never mind. I spotted a stall on our way over where we can pass the time. The owner always manages to come up with novel ideas. I'm one of his regular customers. Oh? So you know the owner as well? Ah, I see. So you were involved in that. I'd caught wind of this dango milk, but I didn't know that it had anything to do with you two. I always order one of his creative drinks whenever I pass the stall. The flavor is always new and interesting. When I noticed he'd set up shop in Rito, I simply had to come by. Sounds interesting. What is it this time? What if I were to choose some ingredients you don't have here? Would that be okay? Excellent. There are a few things I'd like to try. Lavender melon, seagrass, and sea ganoderma. I do indeed. Why, what's wrong? It's all about the experience. The taste is secondary. It's great to try new things. Traveler, any thoughts? 3 milks with lavender melon, please. I think it tastes all right. It makes me feel in touch with Mother Nature. 3 milks with seagrass, please. But it tastes all right. It captures the essence of the ocean. 3 milks with sea Ganoderma, please. I think it's all right. It has quite a fascinating texture. An ordinary choice, but there's nothing wrong with that. 2 Dongo milks and 1 milk with lavender melon, please. A most memorable texture indeed. A success, I'd say. Taste is your key concern, yes? Well said. If I could say the same was true for me, I believe I'd be a very content man. Yes. No one has unlimited energy, and I try to conserve mine for the things that really count. To create some mental breathing room, I try not to overthink the less critical matters. Having my sister attend public events in my stead and having Toma as housekeeper has also been a great help and allowed me to focus. 1 or 2 things. Let's continue this discussion somewhere else. I noticed something before we left the Hiragi clan's residence. No, it was just a small detail. I was curious to know their thoughts on the wedding, so I asked them about it. Naturally, they responded that all other clans are happy for the Hiragi clan. But that's not the truth. Hiragi Shinsuke is still in prison, meaning the Kanjo Commission is the least stable in the Tri-Commission. Hiragi Chisato is the sole remaining pillar of her clan, but now she plans to marry into the Kujo clan. If I belonged to one of the assisting clans to the Hiragis, I would not be feeling optimistic about the future. But they didn't mention a word about that. They simply said they were delighted for them. These are not unintelligent people. I highly doubt it is because they simply do not realize. I imagine they didn't want to discuss family issues in front of outsiders. But still, the more I think back over that conversation, the more it doesn't sit right. Keep a close eye on them, Hisashi. This is one of my most trusted members of the Shumatsuban. He's been quietly watching out for us this whole time. Keep a close watch on the clan representatives we met today. Oh, and I almost forgot. That milk I just had? Please order 1 more and deliver it to Toma. Thank you kindly. Let's go and see Hiragi Chisato. It's been a while, Lady Hiragi. How have you been faring? But of course, the Tri-Commission are the servants of the Shogun, and we should look out for one another. In fact, we visited Sir Kujo just now. It's clear that he's very much looking forward to the wedding. Perhaps his joy is infectious, for I am now feeling rather elated myself. I sincerely wish you a joyful wedding and a blissful marriage. It sounds like you have some considerable reservations, Lady Hiragi. Traditionally, in Inazuma, clan affiliation influences every facet of life. After the wedding, Lady Hiragi will belong to the Kujo clan. The Kanjo Commission's attitude toward you may undergo some significant changes thereafter. No problem at all. The Yashiro Commission has a duty to listen to you. Now that I've heard your concerns, I should offer to help you as best I can, for instance, by helping you gather your thoughts on the matter. Now, we heard from Sir Kujo that his decision to tie the knot was prompted by a letter he received from you. But we've also heard that you did not write that letter. Sir Kujo thought that perhaps you were just being coy. Oh, dear. Perhaps I should have kept that part to myself. Fancy lettering, you say? So I am to understand that had it not been for this letter, you two may not have chosen this moment to be wed? Sir Kujo maintains that the letter was penned by your hand. Either way, it's wonderful to see how much you both trust one another. In that sense, you could say that the origin of the letter is ultimately not of great importance. Who knows? Perhaps Sir Kujo was the one being coy. After all, he had no particular reason to be forthcoming with us about the details of his playful proposal. Marriage is the most important decision of your life. Don't let yourself regret it. It is also part of the Yashiro Commission's job to help people through difficult times. I say this as an advocate for you personally, and for the Hiragi clan. Please, do not be compelled by circumstances to make any decision that goes against your will. To be together with the one you love is a sacred thing. It is my earnest wish that both of you may enjoy a bright and beautiful future, not a bittersweet one. All that matters is that you follow your heart. Since you'll be needing some time to think things over, we will excuse ourselves now. Thank you, Lady Hiragi, but there will be no need. Traveler, let's find somewhere to talk. I've said everything I can given the Yashiro Commission's stance. Interfering too much with other commissions' domestic issues will only create trouble. The more I think about it, the stranger this all seems. But Hiragi Chisato has yet to see it. We must be vigilant. Someone wants Hiragi Chisato to be married as soon as possible, and if my guess is right, it is someone from within the Kanjo Commission. This person is presumably also responsible for the mysterious and misleading letter. Think about this. A lowly officer is greatly worried about Hiragi Chisato's future, while the heads of the supporting clans ostensibly have no concern at all. It doesn't add up. When someone's words and actions do not match, you need to infer their intentions from their behavior. Yes, it's a smart strategy, far superior to the one adopted by the Tenryou Commission's Takatsukasa clan. Even had the forged letter failed and been seen for what it was, there would have been no repercussions. They could simply have explained it away as a misguided but well-meaning matchmaking attempt by a member of the family. But if the letter were to achieve its goal, as it has so far, the perpetrator would successfully weaken the Hiragi clan without ever having to lift a finger against them, all under the guise of simply encouraging a wedding. With Hiragi Chisato having married into the Kujo clan and the head of the Hiragi clan in prison, challenges to the Hiragi clan's leadership would begin to emerge throughout the ranks of the Kanjo Commission. Eventually, another clan would take the Hiragi clan's place. Actually, we have evidence. His name is Shinojo. He should be back by now. Did they take one of the Kanjo Commission officers away? As I expected. They cannot afford to let this opportunity pass them by. They have to act now while the Hiragi clan is at its weakest. Hiragi Chisato had been persuaded by Kujo Kamaji, and the wedding was sure to go ahead. But after Chisato's meeting with Shinojo, she began to have second thoughts. In their eyes, Officer Shinojo has interfered with their plan. Someone was eavesdropping on our conversation with Chisato the entire time. That's why I was a little reserved. I think so, but whoever is behind this will not allow their plan to fail now. They will not be inclined to respect Hiragi Chisato's own wishes. Her stance was so passive that she was easily manipulated, treated like a pawn, with even her marriage becoming a battleground for political power play. Despite all of this, she still believed that a happy future was awaiting her. When she formally marries into the Kujo clan, she will lose her title as daughter of the Hiragi clan, her position in the Kanjo Commission, and above all, her independence. Easier said than done. The perpetrators are manipulating everything from the shadows, letting unsuspecting pawns do their work. This is what makes their approach so smart. We, meanwhile, are out in the open. If we attempt to stop this wedding from happening, we will become the villains of the story and face immense public backlash. At this stage, if the perpetrators wish to maintain control over the situation, their only option is to come out from the shadows and bare their fangs. I will wait for that moment to arrive. But first things first, we must go and rescue Shinojo. He has done nothing wrong and does not deserve to be punished. Tell me where Shinojo is. We'll head off right now. Stop this at once. Really? Then please, excuse me. No need to follow them. We need bait to catch the fish anyway. Leave them be. I think I saw a key fall to the ground during the fight. Let's free Shinojo first. But in all the chaos, it must have been kicked to one side. Where did it end up? Let's follow it and see. Our suspicions were roused to this possibility, and so far, everything is unfolding rather as we expected. Those behind this plan are not going to give up easily. Their next move is imminent. We must devise sufficient countermeasures. This situation has consequences for the whole Tri-Commission, and the stability of all Inazuma is at stake. My hitherto neutral stance ends now. The almighty Shogun has always despised these pathetic power games. As a commissioner, I am a servant of the Shogun, and it is therefore my duty to handle these tiresome matters on her behalf. Shinojo, don't return to your post yet. Find somewhere safe and stay hidden. Traveler, Paimon, let's get out of here. I heard that someone was taking the law into their own hands. As a responsible official of Inazuma, I could not in good conscience stand idly by. Shinojo may be your retainer, but the law does not grant you the right to abuse him. So, you're saying that you know absolutely nothing of the reasons for his actions. Because otherwise, why would you describe it as out of nowhere? Funny. I'm suddenly reminded of an anecdote I'd like to share with you. There's not been a dull moment since I took up my post in the Yashiro Commission. Every day I've been exposed to new and fascinating things. For instance, a merchant from abroad once told me about a curious kind of bird with the most extraordinarily long tongue. So long, in fact, that you can tie 2 knots in the portion of it that extends out of its beak. I'm sure someone as erudite as yourself could be able to guess what people do with these unusual avians. You'd think, wouldn't you? But there's a catch. You see, this bird is of no use to humans whatsoever, and certainly doesn't make a suitable pet. If you catch one, the best thing you can do is actually cut its tongue off and throw it out of the window. The reason they give is this. The longest tongue has the most to say, but don't be deceived as it chirps away, lest the song it sings lead you astray. Far from it. In my mind, the Kanjo Commission is made up of honorable individuals, upright and forthright, conscientious and loyal. It is unbecoming of such people to resort to lies, deception, and filibustering, all as part of a plan to remove Lady Hiragi from her position in the Kanjo Commission. The evidence is standing right in front of me, is it not? I have a credible witness who can confirm you were quick to try and make him disappear as soon as he said something that you did not like. Ugh, dear me. I can't believe the Grand Matsura clan is now represented by someone with less of a sense of loyalty than even an ordinary servant. You studied hard and took a government position, only to make it to where you are now just to play these petty power games behind the scenes. I'm not sure whether it's because you're smart enough to play the system, or too foolish to know any better. In your years of service to the Shogun, not only have you managed to glean nothing good from the people around you, you have also let yourself be blinded by self-interest. And now you have ruined your once bright future. I'm not angry, Mr. Matsura. I just feel sorry for you. So, that's how you view it. Well, I have to admit, you clearly are far more talented than I at monitoring the power balance within the Tri-Commission. I see. It seems like I was wrong. I had expected you to at least be smarter than most, but it seems that I was gravely mistaken. You've made your move. Now, I suppose it's time I made mine. Do you seriously think this marriage will bring the Kanjo Commission and the Tenryou Commission together? Isn't it at all possible that the Kanjo Commission becomes marginalized as a consequence of this union? Goodness me. Well, I've learned a great deal from talking to you. That will be all for now. If you would excuse me, I shall take my leave. They had their scheme, but fortunately I was prepared. As I said, they ended up coming out from the shadows and revealing themselves. Let's see how things are in Inazuma City. Then, I'll take you through the details of my plan. It's still too early to make that conclusion. Our adversary wants to push this marriage past the point of no return. However, we can still beat them at their own game. But only if Kujo Kamaji is willing to help us. If you proceed with the wedding, the repercussions for you are likely to be minimal. But we must take Lady Hiragi's situation into consideration. I understand where you're coming from, but to be frank, she should not need your protection. Or, to put it another way, you have tacitly admitted that Lady Hiragi will need your help to get through the hard times ahead, which perhaps suggests that, deep down, you realize all she stands to lose. I don't mean to criticize you. It is natural to want to protect our loved ones. You're an intelligent and gentle person, and I'm sure you would have been able to think about this more objectively were you not so emotionally involved in the situation. I'm sure you admire Lady Hiragi for being the independent, gentle, resilient, and strong-willed person she is. For the sake of marrying you, this wonderful woman will become someone who has to depend on you for the rest of her life. Are you really okay with that? I have a plan, but it needs a villain. Sir Kujo, in order for my plan to work, you and I must both play the role of antagonists. But it is not without its risks. Are you willing to help? I've told the people at the Kanjo Commission that the marriage isn't going to unify the Kanjo Commission and the Tenryou Commission. On the contrary, it's a terrible idea that will marginalize the Kanjo Commission. The context for this is that they are planning to use this marriage to bring down the Hiragi clan, and the key to their success is coming up against no resistance to the marriage from the Tenryou Commission. But what if we were to imagine for a moment that since the affairs of the Vision Hunt decree, the Tenryou Commission has been planning to make a move against the weakened Kanjo Commission? The only reason you have been hesitant to act since taking over the Tenryou Commission is because you care about Lady Hiragi's feelings. And so, your plan is to liaise with the Yashiro Commission, to marry her and bring her out of the Kanjo Commission as soon as possible. Once that is achieved, as the person in charge of the Tenryou Commission, you no longer have any reason to hesitate. Exactly. Our purpose is to change Lady Hiragi's position from an unnecessary burden to an indispensable asset. By doing so, we can even strengthen her position in the Kanjo Commission. Once our adversaries realize how the network of connections behind the scenes really looks, they'll do their utmost to stop this wedding from happening. Then, we simply leave them to clear up the mess they've created. We have to make sure that the behind-the-scenes story comes to the attention of our dear friends in the Kanjo Commission. Matsura, with whom I spoke earlier, will now be fearing the worst. No doubt he'll be on the lookout for the first sign of a crisis. In that case, he will almost certainly have placed informants throughout Inazuma City. What we need to do is to use these informants as a breeding ground for our fake intel. Sir Kujo, there are certain things that I need you to attend to personally. It's almost time. My ninja has located one of the informants. Let's go and see if he'll take the bait. That person is one of Matsura's informants. Let's follow him. Be careful not to get seen. As expected. Let's follow him. That should do it. The seeds have been sown. In this atmosphere, mounting suspicion will nurture fear among the Kanjo Commission. Now, we wait patiently for it to grow and ferment. The calm before the storm is always the part that unsettles people the most. If you're curious to find out, you can visit the Hiragi clan in Rito in a couple of days. I have some other business to attend to, so I won't be spending any more time on this situation. In any case, we've made our move. It's only a matter of time before they give up and surrender. This is not my first time. Well then, goodbye for now. I truly hope that things will work out in Hiragi Chisato's best interests. I'm sorry, Mr. Matsura. I'm exceptionally busy and have but a moment to spare before my next engagement. I fear this leaves no time for small talk. So, please, if you would be so kind, get straight to the point. You make it sound so easy. The Tri-Commission will be ridiculed by the public if we choose to withdraw the notices now and eat our words. What do you plan to do about this? To lose face for the Tri-Commission is to bring shame to Her Excellency. Are you and your associates ready to face the thunderous wrath of the almighty Shogun? Master Matsura, you should have known it would come to this. Whatever were you thinking? But the Tri-Commission must always put the interests of Inazuma first, regardless of what Sir Kujo and I may feel at this present moment. If the situation in Rito is left to fester any further, things may get out of control. But Lady Hiragi and the inhabitants of Rito are innocent. If we fail to contain the situation promptly, the rumor mill will wreak havoc on the Tri-Commission's reputation. Try keeping a pet bird. You'll see what I mean. Songbirds who know how to hold a tune can be very pleasant to listen to, but they can also become irritating if they don't know when to stop. And as for the ones with excessively long tongues, well, they're so insufferable that they can't be kept as pets at all. But it doesn't take a moment to cut out their tongues and silence them for good. I've listened to your concerns, and I'll talk to Sir Kujo for you. But I can't guarantee that he will change his mind. All right, you ought to return now. I'm sure you have a sizable mess to deal with back in the Kanjo Commission. Ah, yes, Lady Hiragi, I have something to tell you. Would you mind? Unruly servants like him need to be severely reprimanded. As a commissioner, the almighty Shogun trusts me to do her will. I did as I should. But now, I'd like to take off my commissioner hat and share a personal story with you. You must have heard that the Kamisato clan once went through an extremely difficult period. My father worked incredibly hard to compensate for the grave errors made by the Kamisato clan long ago and restore our reputation. The work took a toll on his health and ultimately led to his untimely demise. My mother loved him dearly. She passed soon after. This sudden turn of events dealt a heavy blow to the Ashiro Commission. Behind the scenes, things became very unstable. Everyone thought that the Kamisato clan had lost power. That made my sister and me nothing but burdens hindering the ambitions of others. It may sound preposterous now, but I assure you that is the truth of what the Ashiro Commission has been through. Back then, I had no choice but to accept the position I was in. While I desperately looked around for powerful supporters, I endured smear campaigns and attempts to exploit me. I had no other choice. I had to honor my parents' dying wishes, and I also had a young sister to take care of. I didn't mind what became of me, but my family. No one can ever be allowed to trample over my precious family. Fortunately, I persisted, and the Kamisato clan was able to survive this storm. The reason why Sir Kujo was able to face the prospect of marriage so confidently is because he's prepared for anything. Well said. I'm sure once you have grown and gained confidence, your father will be able to let go and allow you to decide how you want to live the rest of your life. It might not sound exciting, but this kind of personal growth is a necessary step in the pursuit of true happiness. My best wishes to both of you were and remain heartfelt. When the time comes for the wedding to go ahead, I will come to congratulate you once more. Take care, Lady Hiragi. I'm confident that on your return, you will find your Kanjo Commission associates most receptive to your instruction. In fact, counter-checking is a perfectly common maneuver in the game of chess. Our rival this time was easy to deal with. He was smart, but short-sighted, and sloppy in his execution. This outcome is entirely within my expectation. I agree. Stability in Inazuma benefits me as well. I wasn't about to pass up an opportunity to make less trouble for myself. Well, the fact is that I am first and foremost the Yashiro Commissioner. Perhaps for Master Matsura, power is his life's pursuit. But for me, nothing matters more than the stability of Inazuma. A stable nation is the prerequisite for a stable Yashiro Commission. Only then can the Kamisato clan and the other Yashiro Commission clans have a peaceful existence. But human desire will always be a factor in the equation. This is not the first situation of its kind, nor will it be the last. All I have tried to do is make sure the three parties to the Tri-Commission serve to restrain each other. Stasis is not the only form of stability. A balance of power leaving no room for maneuver achieves the same end. Another positive outcome is that everyone recognizes how important Lady Hiragi is now. I think I did her a sizable favor in that regard. Dealing with the Hiragi clan will be much easier for her than navigating a new and unfamiliar one. I thought straight away it was bad timing. Nevertheless, everything I said to Hiragi Chisato was entirely sincere. If you choose to give up your stance on something once, you'll be having to compromise for the rest of your life. I didn't want to see her suffer because she didn't realize what she was getting into. Now, she has the chance to become her own person. Let's see who she becomes. All right. Farewell, and profuse thanks to you both. I shall have to host you at the Kamisato estate when my sister is next available. Didn't you like it? I distinctly remember you saying you are quite partial to exotic flavors. The Traveler had one of those as well. The Traveler did indeed play a critical role in this case. I'm sure both families would have been more guarded against me had she and her companion not been present. It wouldn't have been so easy to get to the heart of the matter. Naturally. Yes. Now that we're both free, let's finish off that game of chess we started a few days ago. Lady I did mention that there would be some reliable helpers coming to assist with the festivities. It appears she meant you two. At last we meet again, Traveler and Paimon. Tell me, how are you faring recently? Preparing festivals falls under the Yashiro Commission's scope of responsibilities. Seeing as Lady Yae has poured her heart and soul into the preparations, I'm obliged to be equally dedicated. Certainly. I assume you two already know that the Iridori Festival originated from the 5 Kasen. These 5 boards are here for painting their portraits. This Iridori Festival is not only the first major festival to be held in Inazuma since the lifting of the Sakoku decree, it is also an event deeply rooted in culture and the arts. Therefore, the Yashiro Commission has personally invited several cultural celebrities from other nations. For example, the artist we have invited to paint these portraits hails from the distant land of Mondstadt. The Yashiro Commission will arrange accommodations and food in Inazuma for each of the distinguished guests. However, we fear that staying in a foreign land may feel a little uncomfortable, which is precisely why it would be ideal to have someone familiar with both Inazuma and other nations of Teyvat to serve as a guide for our guests. I knew you would catch on. It is our hope that you would be able to guide the guests from the harbor to their residence at the International Trade Association, while providing any necessary assistance along the way. This arrival schedule includes the details of the ships on which the guests will be arriving. All you simply have to do is go to the docks at the indicated times. Greetings, Traveler. Paimon. Yes, there were many things which required my attention these past few days. Fortunately, the Iridori Festival is proceeding smoothly. The Tri-Commission cooperated closely to prepare this festival, so at long last, I can take a break today. Toma sure is taking his sweet time. As it just so happens, one of the reasons I'm here today is to explain the details behind this wild hunt. First of all, the start of this whole incident was due to mere happenstance. You see, Lady Yae happened to catch sight of Shincho and the editor carrying the books away one night. She thought it was interesting, so she asked me to tease them a bit. That's right. But using the story of the 5 Kassen to guide you to the Kaedehara family's secrets was my personal touch. As for my roundabout approach, well, that was something which I had no choice but to do. Yes, due to a certain incident that occurred earlier, I happened to notice the bonsai plants left behind by Kaedehara Yoshinori, as well as the blank papers hidden inside. I knew there was more than meets the eye regarding those papers, but it took me some time to figure out the secret behind the ink, the kind that would only appear when exposed to water. What Kaedehara Yoshinori said in the letter is very important for both the Kamisato clan and the descendants of the Kaedehara clan, especially Kazuha. The Kaedehara clan used to be subordinates of the Kamisato clan. It was my ancestors who were unable to protect them all those years ago. So now, this obligation fell on my shoulders. Although he has the right to know the truth, the closer he draws to things hidden out of sight, the closer he also draws to danger. I had to confirm whether Kazuha has both the will and ability to be privy to the truth. Of course, I could outright tell him the truth that I had discovered, but maybe he doesn't have the will that's required. In that case, the truth would only become a burden to him. If he lacks the ability, then he wouldn't be able to find the truth in the first place, in which case, it would be better to keep him away from danger altogether. Kaedehara Yoshinori left his message in a roundabout way precisely for this reason. For a long time, I yearned for a suitable opportunity to convey this matter, right up until the night when a legend of sword was smuggled away. I figured you would ask this question eventually. I merely saw that this matter would be of value to you. And more importantly, I hoped that while Kazuha and Ayaka were looking for the answers together, they would have some reliable friends by their side. Reliable friends who would be willing to protect them and make measured decisions. Friends who would spare no effort to lend a helping hand in times of trouble. Because it is also very likely that you will face the same enemy together in the future. You already know the answer deep down inside, don't you? The answer is actually hidden in the portrait of Kuronushi. When there is no one else near the portrait, you can confirm with your own eyes. As for the means of revealing that answer, well, you have used it many times before.